Did you know that there's 4 ways to solve crowding in patients? In this video, I'm going to go over them in order from least to most effective for your adult patients who are doing clear aligners. Hey, I'm Dr. Avi. I'm a dentist who started over 50 cases in my first 6 months of offering aligners, and I've gone on to do hundreds of cases since. On this channel, I help dentists get confidence and clarity with aligners through simplifying the process with these videos. Now, I was able to improve this case that you see right here by using one of the most effective ways to resolve crowding for patients undergoing clear aligner therapy. But it wasn't always like this. You see, when I first started out doing aligners, not only did I not know that there were different ways to solve crowding, I didn't know which ones to use in which situation for the best outcome. Now, something to remember, like with all my stuff, this works for all brands. I am brand agnostic. I'm teaching you principles. You can take them and use them for whatever system that you so desire. Now, what do you need to remember when considering treatment modalities for aligners? First thing to take into account is your patient demographic. Are they adults or are they teenagers? I personally like to treat adults. You want to take into the time. How long are you going to be spending with this patient? How long do you want the treatment to be? I like to optimize treatment for 6 to 8 months. I don't want to treat patients for over a year because that is not a good experience for them. It's not efficient or profitable for me. And that type of treatment length is best served with an orthodontist. So I don't even take those cases on to begin with. Now, the next thing you want to consider is efficiency. How efficient are you able to be? What is going to be also predictable? And how do you ensure that that's what you do? So the least effective way to resolve crowding with aligners in adults is distalization. You see, second molar distalization, it doesn't work with aligners alone because you need an anchor behind the tooth. And so this is where something like headgear comes into play. And traditionally that's what it was, is you need something behind the tooth to anchor to move everything backwards. And so if you want to do this, you would have to use something like a carrier motion distalizer, and you would do that first, and then you would be able to distalize all the teeth in front of the molar using something like elastics or other appliances. This is a 12 to 18 month thing to do. And remember what I said at the beginning, that is not effective and efficient. Now, you can do it if you want. That's not how I do it. That's not how I was taught. And I leave that to orthodontists. So an aggressive way to resolve crowding with aligners in adults is with extraction. And you can see in this case here, there is a tooth that is completely out of the arch. And so that was extracted so that the rest of the teeth could move into the place. And so when you see an obvious lack of space, you're gonna wanna extract the tooth, because to do something like IPR to create the space there is not gonna be that easy to do because, well, that would be a lot of IPR. And so sometimes the simplest thing is the best thing. And in this case, yes, you would take that tooth out and move everything into the spot. You can also extract premolars. And when you extract premolars, you're gonna get about 15 millimeters of space. And the most common premolar that is extracted is the first premolar. And what happens is those premolars are removed, as you can see here, and then the canines are distally translated to fill that space. Now, something to remember, distally translating canines is actually not the easiest thing and most predictable thing to do, because you are at risk of tipping the teeth instead of actually translating them. So something to take into account if you're considering this option. Now, if you're a dentist who wants confidence with aligners and you don't know where to start, be sure to check out one of my free trainings. But if you want something that's more structured with more implementation and resources as well as support, then you might be a good fit for our course, Aligner Blueprint. It's helped hundreds of dentists generate over $9 million from aligners alone, not to mention all the confidence they got from the procedure that they're doing. The links for those are in the description below, or you can go to our website, clearalineradvisor.co, and you can check out everything there. So a solution to create space for crowding cases can be simply just moving everything. Just move it all, right? Expansion is this modality. And so a way to use this is if you have a case where premolars are going to be more lingual, or you've got like a V-shaped arch or an omega-shaped arch, something that's narrow, you would just take the teeth and you would push them out into the arch. That's premolar expansion. And premolar expansion is great when it makes sense, because buccal lingual translation is predictable along with proclination and retroclining. Those are all easy movements, right? You don't need attachments for it. Here's the thing to remember. If you take a single rooted conical tooth and you try to translate it to the buccal, it's gonna work. It's predictable, it's doable. But if you take a 3 rooted molar and you push on it from the lingual with plastic, that tooth is gonna tip. I'm going to illustrate that for you here. So as you can see, you've got your 3 rooted maxillary molar, and you're putting force where the arrow is with aligners from the palatal to the buccal. And so ideally you would just want it to boop, translate right over, right? But that's not how this works. Because what really happens is where that red dot is, that's where you would have to put the force to actually move that tooth. But you can't because that's underneath the bone. And so when you're putting force on the palatal side at the crown level, because the roots are in the bone, what ends up happening is that palatal root exists, and that's what acts as essentially the fulcrum, and that kicks the tooth out and tips it. And so what you end up getting is you get that tipped molar, and the central fossa goes into the central groove of that mandibular molar, and now you are stuck with a posterior open bite, and it is not fun. So with expansion, it is good to expand about 2 millimeters into the arch form itself when you're dealing with the premolars, and then you're just going to want to use IPR for the rest. Something to remember is the molars are straight up and down. Do not expand them because they will tip. And so to wrap this part up, expansion is good to use in certain cases in very specific measures. Hey, real quick, so if you're liking this video, please just copy the link and share it with one of your dental friends. Either drop it in a group chat or share it in your favorite Facebook community. And I'm asking you to do this because I put a lot of energy and effort into making these videos, and my goal is to make aligner education as accessible as possible to as many dentists out there. And so by you simply just copying and pasting this link and just sharing a little takeaway, or just telling someone, hey, go watch this, that would be a huge help. I really appreciate it. Thanks for your support. So the most predictable way that I like to make space in my crowding cases is by using IPR. What is IPR? IPR was invented by John Sheridan, and he originally called it air rotor stripping, and it came out in the 80s. And when this happened, there was a lot of, let's call it, uproar in the dental community, because the idea of creating small areas of space between teeth versus just extracting or distalizing was unheard of. But it ended up catching steam, and now today is a very predictable way to create space in your crowding cases. But something to know, IPR is not about shaving teeth. I cannot say this enough. It's about removing friction. By doing this, you can create multiple small areas of space to allow the crowded teeth to move into. Because when you think about teeth and they're going up against each other, you want to remove that friction, because if you don't, it's going to get stuck. But if you remove the friction, teeth can actually move through. See how that works? So how do you do IPR? There are 5 ways that you can do it, and I'm going to mention them here so you get an idea. But if you want to deep dive on this, go check out this video right here. I actually break down each one of these techniques in depth, so that way you can have the confidence to pick one that you like the most and use it. Go check it out. So the first is going to be using a disc, right? An end cutting disc on low speed. The next is you could have something like an oscillating fan disc. You also could use finishing strips, not the best, but it's an option. Then there's the Ghost system. This system is awesome. I've used it before in certain cases and I've gotten pretty good results. Or you can use my favorite, the high speed burr. Like I said, I break all these down in that video, so go check that out. A lot of good information in there. And if you got one nugget from this training and found it valuable, then you need to go watch this video that I made. I go deeper on the aligner concepts, and I'm gonna see you in there.